Good morning and welcome to the Tay Math News. I'm your host, DJ Tay, whoop whoop, and I am bringing you the study guide for Unit 4, Part B. We're going to jump right in. But first, before we actually begin, let's go ahead and get our name and the date. Ooh, it's the 22nd. And let's see which class period I'm going to represent. I am going to represent my third period today. I'm going to represent my third period. All right, so let's look at number one. Give three values of h that makes the inequality h is greater than 12 true. So I have to pick three numbers that are greater than 12. Pretty easy. I'm going to choose 13, 17, and let's choose something wild. 411. All right. Number two, which value is not a solution for the inequality? P is less than or equal to 5.9. P is less than or equal to 5.9. Let's see. All right, so the first one is 6.9. All right. And that one is not less than 5.9. So I'm going to already circle and say it's A. But let's look at the rest of them and make sure, let's test them, make sure they're not solutions to see if they are or not. 2.4 is indeed less than 5.9, and it says it wants something that is not a solution. So I know that this is a solution, so it's not my answer. C, 3.0. 3.0 is less than 5.9, so this can't be it. And 4.5 is less than 5.9, so that can't be it. So my answer is indeed 6.9. It is not a solution for P. Number three, write the inequality that represents the solution on the number line. So I see that where the circle is above 35. So I'm comparing x and 35. But I have to see what symbol for my inequality am I going to use. I know because this dot is open instead of filled in, it's not going to be equal to. So, and I see that the arrow is going to the right where the numbers get higher. So I'm going to say that my x has to be greater than 35. Number four, which inequality represents the solution set? 6, 7, 8. All right, so 6, 7, 8. So let's look at each one of these and see if these solutions, this solution set will fit that. A says S is greater than 9. Well, none of these numbers are greater than 9, so that can't be it. S can't be 6 and still be greater than 9. S can't be 7 and still be greater than 9. S can't be 8 and still greater than 9. So let's see. S is less than 9. 6, 7, and 8 are all less than 9. So, I'm liking B for this one. Let's look at the rest. C, S is greater than or equal to 9. Well, these numbers are not greater than, and it does not have a 9 there, so it can't be even equal to 9. And D, S is less than or equal to 9. And you know what? I can look at this and be like, yeah, that technically fits, but equal to 9, I don't have a 9 in my set here. So I'm going to X that one off as well. So this set represents numbers that are just less than 9. Number 5, which inequality statement represents G is less than 40? So whatever G is less than $40. All right, so Jaleel, let's look at A. Jaleel needs to make more than $40 at IHOP tonight. More than. And this is asking me for G being less than, so it's not A. B, at least 40 students must sign up for the career fair. So this means that 40 or more, and I'm looking for less than 40, so it can't be B. Let's look at C. Customers younger than 40 qualify for the young generation discount. Younger than 40, that's less than 40. I'm liking C for this one, but let's make sure D doesn't fit. All right, D, the amount needed to fill the kiddie pool is at least 40 gallons. At least, again, would mean that it's 40 or more. So it's not D. So my answer is C, customers younger than 40. That means that this G is less than 40. Let's look at number 6. It says, write the algebraic inequality that represents this graph. All right, so I know that I'm comparing X to a number, and I have to see where my circle is to see what number it's being compared to, and it's being compared to 2. But notice that that's a closed dot. That means that it's going to be something greater than or less than, but it's also going to be equal to because it has a closed dot over 2. So let's see the direction of the arrow. It's to the left where the numbers are getting smaller. Because here we start at 2, then it's going to 1, is 0, -1, -2. So those are smaller numbers. So I'm going to say that X is less than or equal to 2. That's my inequality. Number 7. Eddie bought a candy bar for $1.50 and 4 other items that cost X dollars each. Write an equation that represents the total cost, C. So some of you may remember when I gave you the little hint that whenever you see that it says the total or total cost and then it tells you what the variable is, and that's telling you to put that variable in an equal sign. So it says it represents the total cost. That means whatever I did is equal to this. So now I see that Eddie bought a candy bar for $1.50 plus 4 other items that cost an amount we don't know. And that's my equation. All right, let's go to number 8. Number 8 says a football team is selling cupcakes as a fundraiser. Based on the table, write an equation that represents the situation. All right, so I need to see the pattern. It's going from 20 to 240, from 60 to 720, and from B to 960. So I need to see what is happening here. What is happening here that's going from my 20 to my 240, my 60 to my 720, and then B from 900 to 960. So I know that to get from 20 to 240, I can multiply by 12. 20 times 12 gives me 240. Let's see if that rule fits for 60. 60 times 12, hey, it does give me 720. So I see in order to get from this B for boxes of cupcakes sold to 960, I have to also multiply by 12. So my equation that represents this situation is I am taking 12 times my B to equal M, my money earned. All right. Or I could just say that in this case, because in this case 12B equals 960. All right, so this is the equation, and if you wanted to use X and Y, you could say 12X is equal to Y. All right, number 9. The equation Z equals 12W, so here's my Z for miles, is equal to 12W. So 12 times the weeks will give me the miles. All right, so the equation Z equals 12W represents the number of miles, Z, that Zora travels after W weeks. Fill in the table to match this equation. Okay, so if I know that 12 times this number will give me Z, I could just go ahead and start doing my multiplication. 12 times 3, that's 36. So when she went 3 weeks, she did 36 miles. 6 weeks, 72 miles. All right, so now let's look. We have 12 9, excuse me, so that means 108 miles. And then after 12 weeks, that means she did 144 miles. Pretty easy, because they gave us this equation for us to pop our numbers into our substitution. Okay, so let's look at number 10. At Traster's Car Emporium, the top salesperson, Tay, averages 20 cars sold per month, represented by the equation y equals 20x. Their second salesperson, Shannon, he averages 10 cars per month, represented by the equation y equals 10x. Graph the sales rates of both car salespeople. All right, so this is where they've given us the equations. We have to make our tables so that we could go ahead and graph these points. So I'm going to make a table over here for Tay. Okay. My X and my Y. So, and if 1 month, 2 months, and 3 months. And remember, Tay's equation was y equals 20x. And then over here, I'm going to make a table for Shannon. And for the x's and y's. And remember, the equation for his table, his cells, is y equals 10x. So let's see, 1, 2, and 3 months. So let's plug this in. When x equals 1, y equals 20, because 20 times 1 is 20. When x equals 2, y equals 40, because 20 times 2 is 40. When x equals 3, y equals 60, because 20 times 3 equals 60. So now I have my sets, my ordered pairs here, my x comma y's, so that I can graph. So the first point is 1 comma 20. So I'm going over to 1 and up to 20. All right. Now I'm going over to 2 and up to 40. And now I'm going over to 3 and up to 60. So that is Tay's line. All right. So this is representing Tay's line so far. So this is what Tay has. Okay. So I'm going to draw a line through there. All right, so we're looking at Tay's line, all right? Now we could go ahead and make one for Shannon. So 1, if I substitute 1 in for x, that means 10 times 1, so my y is 10. Substitute 2 in for x, that's 10 times 2, so now my y is 20. Substitute 3 in for x, that's 10 times 3, so my y equals 30. So now I have the x, y, the ordered pairs for Shannon's cells. Let's look. So when Shannon sold 1 car, for the first month, excuse me, he had 10 cells. It's going to be about there. When he sold the second month, he had 20 cars, so I'm going over to 2 and up to 20. And now, when he was at 3 months, he sold 30 cars. All right. So notice I had to go in between those for his line. So let's look and see what his line looks like. All right, so this is Tay's cells, and this is Shannon's cells. All right, so this is how you would take just the equation that they gave, put in your substitution to get your ordered pairs, and then graph it on the graph. All right, guys, so I know that you totally have this. This is going to be easy for you. It's nice and clear. You guys got this. Many, many blessings for your test.